Me. No. I'm Father Christmas. See Nosferatu? Dude, that's such a cool show. Is this recording? And I forgot what I was going to say as usual. Welcome everybody to Jack Does Horror. I'm Jack, and today's video is the top 10 cosmic horror movies of all time. If you guys could like and share this, because here at Jack Does, we always appreciate that. And if you could subscribe and hit that notification bell, that we get notified anytime we have uploaded new content. Now with that being said, onto the list of the top 10 cosmic horror movies of all time. Coming in at number 10, Phantasm. Look, this movie is awesome and it's in my movie collection and always will be in my movie collection. Why? Because it's got Barracuda, it's got cool guns, it's got cool characters, it's got a sphere that flies and smashes into people's head, tall man who's like kind of taller than the protagonist anyway. He ends up being kind of weird and kind of cool. Look, I'm not denying that there's plot holes and issues from beginning to end in this movie, but you also can't deny that this movie is an enjoyable must-see to watch. Why does Jack consider it must-see? Why am I saying things in the third person? Why do I consider it a must-see? Well, very, very simple. One, as I always say until I'm blue in the face, cool story, cool characters, cool weapons, cool kills, cool movie. It always equals cool movie. So why the hell would I enjoy this? Things I didn't get in this movie was, why the hell was Tall Man killing these people just to shrink them down? Obviously they were mining for something. I don't know what, but they were mining for something, so they had to be shrunk down because the high winds or the temperature or something, and that makes it where, you know, they can go through this other dimension, this red dimension, and not get smoked or whatever happens to Mike. He goes through the two, what's it called, sound fork? So he goes through that, kind of gets smoked up a little bit. So somehow it doesn't happen to these dead little, like, Ewok, troll, leprechaun type of guys. Anyway, Mike, his older brother Jody, who I'm not going to say anything about that character. Yes, I am. So Mike, Jody, and Reggie, best friend of the two brothers, have to go and save the day. They end up doing this pretty cool because one guy's an ice cream man. And the other two, for some reason, have probably the most kick-ass thing that you'd ever want to see as a teenager. They have guns, they have a quick muscle car, tons of chicks. But the weirdest part about it was the main chick in it that got naked and had sex and everything was actually the tall man antagonist. Why he had to have sex with him at first? Well, I'll just say this. It's cosmic horror. There's the mystery there. I don't know. We've had 30 years, 30 whole years to try and make a cohesive story out of this world, and you just have refused to do it for the Phantasm universe and all of us that are fans of it. But you know what? We'll keep forgiving you because there's going to be a reboot or a remake, and hope maybe they'll explain it for us. But until that point, somebody please tell me what the hell is going on in Phantasm. I mean, when I think about it, I'm like, see what I mean? So anyway, yeah, 30 years, you could have did it, you just chose not to. And for that, Phantasm, instead of being higher up the list, makes it only at number 10. Entry number 9, Annihilation. If I was like any other top list on YouTube, because Annihilation isn't a horror movie, Natalie Portman said she would never be in a horror movie, and you know what? She kept her word, because this movie is so far from a horror movie that there's no way in hell it would ever make my top 10 cosmic horror list. And for those who have put it on there, please, I don't care if it's in the comments, I don't care if you message me directly, just let me know, why the hell do you consider this a horror movie? You know? And Dose, why did you even make your list in the first place? Because honestly, it's not that good. So the real number 9 is a way awesome throwback to retro 80s. I'm talking about Beyond the Gates. Now this movie was way awesome. It starts out where you have two brothers that are going through their dad's old video shop and they find this board game from their childhood. This board game is actually opening to another dimension. This is where they find Barbara Crampton, who is talking all this cool, like, hey, you're going into this other world type of thing. When you know it, she's telling the truth. And in this world, there is cool practical effects, cool things that are going on, and it's up to these two brothers to kind of do this kind of Super Mario thing about saving the princess. The princess just so happens to be this girl that for some reason has to go on this other side because she knows these two schmoes. Like I said, this movie is cool because it's got that retro feel that I think a lot of us 80s movie buffs and aficionados love. Especially yours truly. Yeah, it was lacking some plot and everything, but all in all, as far as cosmic horror goes, let's see here. You enter another dimension with a board game. You have to escape this dimension with killing people very kick-ass. Of course, it's going to make my list. Coming in at number 8, a movie that I was glad I watched while making this list because I would have felt ashamed if this missed the list. I'm talking about 2019's Color of Space. Color from Outer Space. Color out of Space. Now this movie is really cool because one, this shows what happens if you actually put a good budget behind an H.P. Lovecraft story. Two, it's got probably my number one pick for anytime I see a horror movie. If I see Nicolas Cage in it, I guarantee you I'm going to be purchasing that thing.
Am I a fucking retard, man? Am I a fucking retard? Oh! I know what this is. You're trying to snub me out because of this crazy little nephew being around. Well, vive la fucking France, man!
Because he does a bang-up job, and I'll be honest with you, at first when this is rolling out, I thought to myself, like, Jesus, man, it felt overacted, it felt like Nick Cage doing what Nick Cage does when Nick Cage gets a paycheck. But I started watching and I started feeling the character more. I started seeing what Nick Cage does.
I am so sorry about the smell. Can you smell it? I don't smell anything. Like somebody lit a dog on fire.
For the character, and then I started enjoying that on top of what you would expect out of a Lovecraftian film, which is then I got some cool creatures. I got that cool outer space mystery thing. I'm not gonna lie, there's some stuff here that they didn't explain the way that I would hope they would have explained in the movie. All in all, this movie hit all the notes that I would want in a cosmic horror movie. Like I said, it's H.P. Lovecraft. Give it a look. Because if you're a fan of the cosmic horror genre, then this is one that you'd have to check out anyway, just to make sure you off your list. And that's what I have for that. Coming in at number 7. Next on the list, the remake, 1981, The Blob. Huh? Dang. Coming up next on the list, at number 7, the 1988 remake, The Blob. Look, if you guys are a fan of sci-fi / horror, that genre, then, or the genre we're talking about, if you're a fan of sci-fi in general, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Basically what I'm trying to say is that the original Blob movie was kind of B, and it had Steve McQueen, but it was still very B. It felt just that 60s or 50s or whatever feel that they would do for the B monster feature thing, the creature feature thing. In 1981, they decided that they were going to make it scary as hell. One of my all-time favorite kills is in this movie. I'll just say, that way I won't spoil it too much. You know what, I shouldn't say anything. Just has to do with the Blob eating somebody in the water. The story is basically the same. You have the scene that comes from outer space, lands, starts eating and absorbing, and as it does, it kind of hulks it out and gets bigger and bigger the more it eats and eats. The way that they have to stop it, well, that's for you to find out if you haven't watched it, because I don't feel like spoiling it. I just know that this movie is really cool. I felt the effects were definitely, you know what, they are up there with the best of the 80s effects. Talking about all kinds of movies that I don't really want to mention because some of them are on this list. Now, where does the scene come from? The Blob? From outer space. What else do you need to know? It's cosmic horror after all, and Well, it's just scary that it comes from somewhere out there. Number 6 on the list, my personal favorite of the franchise, Hellraiser 2 Hellbound. Hellraiser's cool, and it's definitely an original film. It's, as far as Clive Barker goes, it's definitely in my top 3 of Clive Barker. No, top 5 of Clive Barker. As far as the franchise in general, what number 2 does is it gives you what a sequel's supposed to. More. In this case, it lets us go inside that pesky little box of Pinhead and more of the I always mess this up. Cenobots? More of the Cenobuns? More of the Cenobuns? More of the Cenobuns? More of the Cenobots? Cenobites. More of the Cenobites. This is the gateway to hell? Doesn't look that much like hell, but yeah. This gateway opens up. You go into this other world. It's supposed to be the thing that nightmares are made of. Me, personally, probably being jaded from all the horror I've watched, all I thought of was cool. The zipper face guy, cool. Pinhead, chains, cool. What really threw me off about this one, what really made me realize what that box did and what was going on with the whole Pinhead, how he once was human and all this stuff, was when the doctor running the asylum that our main character is in, I should remember her name. You know, this girl right here. Yeah, he's running that asylum, and he's also wanting to be part of that dimension, and he becomes part of that dimension, and he becomes even worse as he tries to be the ruler of hell over Pinhead, while they're trying to dish out pain, because pain and suffering is enjoyable to these Cenobites. You get to see some really cool effects. You get to see the ongoing theme, Don Coscarelli, of what happens when you do a cosmic horror franchise, and you actually just try and explain and add layers to the story. I'm not talking about as they go, but at least the first 3. Anyway, Phantasm 2, awesome movie. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. Why? Because it makes the list for a reason. Because it's that damn good and that damn... and I'll leave it at that. Coming in at number 5, The Langoliers. Just joking. Coming in at the real number 5, From Beyond. This film from 1986 made it this far up the list for a few reasons. 1, it's from an actual H.P. Lovecraft novel. 2, anytime a science experiment goes wrong and shit happens, including opening up a portal so creatures from another world can go through it to wreak havoc on Earth, you got my vote. And it makes number 5 not just for those reasons, but it also has Jeffrey Combs in it. Jeffrey Combs from Reanimator, Jeffrey Combs from The Frighteners, Jeffrey Combs from anything that has like a cult following when it comes to cosmic horror. Now this movie definitely hits everything you would want in a cosmic movie and then some. Not just because of what I just said, but if you check out this movie, and I'm not going to give any spoilers, I told myself, no spoilers, well, as much as I can help it, you'll see that this movie from beginning, middle to end, gets it to where you're thinking who's good, who's bad. All you definitely know is that at the end of this all, nothing's going to be the same. Everything went wrong in the name of science. Oh, we're midway through, which means I'm going to do this. If you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe. Also hit that notification bell, that way you get notified anytime we do lists, ranks, reviews, anything that revolves around horror, because here at Jack Does, we love horror and we also love the support that you guys show, and we appreciate it greatly. And if you could share this video, that would be much obliged as well. Now, back to the list. Coming in at number 4, a movie that I have no idea why so many critics and so many people are against. I'm talking about The Void from 2017. This movie has everything you want in a horror movie, because I've said that a million times. This movie is cool as hell. I don't understand why all the critics were against it. They knocked the acting.
Acting! Brilliant! don't!
I don't understand. They knocked the story. I don't understand. In cosmic horror, there is supposed to be still that where is it all from? What's going on? Leaves a little room for the imagination. That's what's supposed to happen with this genre. Look, this movie had awesome practical effects, a real throwback to where I personally feel that this subgenre was the best, the 80s. Look, I'm not gonna ruin it, but it's cosmic horror, it's got a cult, it's got all kinds of things. One thing it doesn't have is room for you to be bored. I'm gonna leave it at that because I just want everybody to check out this movie. Capiche?
Well, do you understand?
Everything except capiche.
Number 3 on the list. Finally, John Carpenter makes it on my list. It took this long, but for a good reason, because John Carpenter always belongs at the top of a Jack Does list. Number 3, Prince of Darkness. This movie has done something that I've always personally wondered, which is religion, science, or religion science. See, instead of making it where they're way over here, they blend it where it's kind of together. And through this, they have it where there's this thing that not appears. What does it do? They find this thing in this church where they try and get science to explain it because it's defying gravity, and they believe that this is a portal to hell. When this happens, the scientists get moved in, a bunch of crazy stuff happens. I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but if you like John Carpenter, if you like Alice Cooper cameos, if you like cool effects, if you like portals from hell possibly, then why wouldn't you check out this movie? It has all that. It also has Donald Pleasance not being Dr. Loomis, which, well, that's a good break for us all, right?
I shot him 6 times. What? I shot him 6 times. I shot him in the heart.
Can't have gotten very far. Come on.
I shot him 6 times. Yeah. This guy, this man, he's not human.
I think so, and if you agree or disagree, leave a comment below because, well, I love hearing from you guys, and the feedback helps us here on this channel. Moving on with the list, we're talking about, moving on the list, number 2. Who does number 2 work for?
That's right, buddy. You show that turd who's boss.
Number 2, In the Mouth of Madness. Because after you read Sutter Kane, you don't know what's going on, you don't know what's real, what's not. Basically what this story is saying is that when something is more read than the Bible and translated in more countries than the Bible, this Sutter Kane become the new god. So this story picks up where the novelist Sutter Kane goes missing. They hire Sam Neill, who is a private investigator, to see if there's some fraud going on. He goes, figures out that there's a map to where Sutter Kane could possibly be in his hometown, and a bunch of crazy stuff happens. Preachers, Vigo's in it, being basically trying to be a good guy in it, and there's no way that the actor who played Vigo is ever going to be a good guy because, you know, he looks like fucking Vigo. And so then outside of that, so this movie really makes you ask what's real, what's not, leaves you with this whole open-ended, open ending. If you haven't checked out In the Mouth of Madness, check it out because it's one of John Carpenter's, hey, there you go, just like the third one. It's part of John Carpenter's apocalyptic trilogy. And it's also a cosmic horror gem, and it's also made this list. So check it out. I'm not going to beg you. Just check out because it's awesome. And it's really scary. Coming at number 1, the all-time favorite, not just in cosmic horror, but my all-time favorite movie in general. Not just horror, my whole all-time favorite movie. Talking about 1981, John Carpenter's The Thing. Also a part of his apocalyptic trilogy. The granddaddy of them all. This is the mecca of cosmic horror. I'm sure there's other lists on YouTube. There is other lists on YouTube that agree with me, no doubt about it. You can go anywhere when it comes to cosmic horror. Google it, I don't care, you'll see. This movie is the granddaddy of them all. This has the mystery of where did the thing come from? They're in Antarctica. They end up finding this ship. Oh, wait, that's the first damn one. That's not how it starts. And this is my favorite move. So, this starts out where, you know, there's a dog getting shot at. The savage Swedes. Damn crazy Swedes, Norwegians. Norwegians. So those damn savage Norwegians tried killing this cute dog. When you know it, they should have, because this cute dog ends up doing some shit. Spoiler alert, I've made it this far without giving you one, I think. Anyway, spoiler alert, yeah, this dog is something else. This dog is something from somewhere else. Somewhere else. This is, it's cosmic horror. You should have known that already. Anyway, yeah, this movie's awesome. Creature effects that still hold the test of time. I would take those effects any day over a week over some of the CGI stuff. Oh, how to close this one up. Man, that's my #1 movie. It's a great movie. 5 out of 5 stars. Anybody who disagrees with it, they're gonna be lying to you. I'm Jack. I tell you the truth. This is Jack Does Horror. I did the Cosmic Horror list. This made #1 out of 10 of my top choices. Check out all 10. If you agree or disagree, comment below. I like the feedback. I also like the interaction, because that's how this kind of all works. Now, I don't have to do now. I don't have to, this gets cut in. Alright, well that's the top 10 cosmic horror movies of all time. Agree, disagree, comment below. I love the feedback, I love the interaction. Also, if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. We here at Jack Does appreciate all the support that you guys show us, and trust me, it doesn't go unnoticed. Also, dig the digs? There's a link in the description below. It's a personal collection that we've been working on for a while, stuff that I actually wear, stuff that I want to wear, stuff that I'm going to be purchasing in the future if it's not already purchased. And if you guys want to support the channel, click the link below, because, you know, you could buy it in other places or you could buy it here. Why not buy it here? I know for a fact if you buy it here, I love you for it. And that's that, because I'm Jack, and this is Jack Does Horror. Good night.
Yo!